Everyone, hello. My name is Michelle Mickey Jones, and I am a writer. I am a published author. I am a poet. I am also a social worker. And my thing when you get with me, when you speak with me, when you work with me, when you just talk to me, is to help other writers to write. And how do I do that? I help you to engage yourself. I help you to find your voice and to speak that voice. Now, whether it is in public speaking or whether it is in written form, I help you to find your voice and to speak it. So, why do I do that? Because I like writing. I absolutely love writing. So if you're new to following me, I say welcome to you and tell you that you will hear me talk about writing, you will hear me talk about poetry, and every now and then you will hear me talk about my community events and activities. If you've been following me for a while, I say thank you. And don't forget to hit that share button and share this out, whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Now, last week before last, whenever you catch the replay, I spoke about the technical aspects of writing. And there are 4 aspects of writing. And we went through them very briefly. Now, I didn't know at that time that I was going to have to learn my own lesson. This is why I speak to you. This is why I encourage you to write, because I am a writer as well, and I'm learning something new every day. So for the last couple of days, I have been writing my big story. Now, what is my big story? My big story is my life with lupus. I am a coming up on 18-year survivor, and it was time to sit down and write the story. I have 18 years worth of understanding and knowledge. I have 18 years of not doing anything that was relevant in the beginning to doing everything that was imperative in the end. I have 18 years worth of information locked away inside of my head and in my heart that other lupus survivors need to know. So I sat down, took pen to paper, well, actually fingertips to computer, keyboard, and I began writing. I am on day 3. Day 3 of my writing process, and I have already written 15,000 words. Okay, that's an average of about 5,000 words a day, which is about normal. Now, this is not going to be a huge novel of suspense and drama, death, kill, murder. It is going to be about a journey with learning to survive with lupus. Okay. Can I tell you why I started doing it? I started doing it because in 2017, I had a consultation with a coach, right? I have a coach. Yes, I have a coach. I've spoken to you about that before. Every writer needs a coach. Every entrepreneur needs a guide, okay? And I found my 2018 goals that I had written in 2017. So, quick little recap, 2018 goals, okay? And I listed them all out, had them all written out. I knew what I wanted to do in 2017 for 2018. We are in the 8th month of 2018. And while I have done the majority, I would say 85% of what my goals for 2018 are, there was one big goal that I just hadn't done. Why? Not because I was scared, not because I was afraid. It's just that I hadn't sat down and been inspired to do it. I got that inspiration now. So in 3 days, 15,000 words later, I am almost finished with my story. Why did I tell you this? I told you this because you are a writer. I told you this because you can tell your story. I told you this to encourage you. Even if you don't literally sit down and write it out right now, make you an outline. Make an outline of your key points that you want to talk about in your story. Because at the end of the day, in the beginning of the morning and all through the day, you are an expert on your story. Why? Because it's your story. Will it have some areas that needed to be edited? Will it expanded and just fleshed out? Sure it will. But if you sit down and you just write the broad picture of what you want to talk about in your story, write that first. Leave it alone and then go back to it. And when you read the rawness of your story, the filler will come out. And what do I mean by the filler? It will be, because the majority, when we start our stories, we start right where we are. So it's not necessarily the middle, it's not necessarily the end, but it's not the beginning. So when you start to write your story, you write it from where you are, from what you see now. Most readers, period, will not be where you are now. So you will have to take them back to your beginning. That's not where you started at in your rough draft, in your outline, because where you are now is what you want to write about. But you have to lead them and guide them into your story. So while we sit and we outline and we rough draft our story, it takes a moment of pure, unadulterated focus to get it written. And guess what? You're not on a timeline, unless you actually have a deadline. But you're not on a timeline. So take your time. Write your story. Because when you publish your story, if you choose to publish your story, you will know when it's time to stop writing your story. Don't be afraid of who you are. That's my biggest thing to you. Don't be afraid of what you know. We talked about maybe a couple of weeks ago, the brain dump and the power of the paragraph. That's it. Dump all of that out of your brain onto paper, onto your computer screen. Leave it there. Walk away from it. Then come back to it and then make sense of it. And if you don't have this huge brain dump, write a powerful paragraph. I don't even care if it's a run-on sentence. Most paragraphs are anyway. But write it exactly how you feel it, exactly what you're focused on right at that particular moment. Write that down. Walk away from it and then come back to it. Okay? My story started out maybe as an ebook. That was my goal. Maybe as an ebook. Okay? This is my rough draft. And I don't know if you can see the thickness of it. Right now, my manuscript is 64 pages. Double spaced. 64 pages. And I haven't even finished yet. And that started with a small rough draft that I did 3 days ago. So you are actually the best expert on you there is. Whatever story you want to tell, however you want to tell that story, you have to first get it out of here, get it out of here, and get it onto paper. So, do you have goals? Are you working towards those goals? That's the first thing you need to understand about writing. What is your writing goal? My writing goal is I want to just write poetry. My writing goal is I want to write a novel. My writing goal is I want to write a how-to book. My writing goal is that I want to write about romance and mystery and drama. Okay. That's your goal. Now, how are we going to accomplish that for you? How are we going to make that happen? What are we going to do to motivate you, to inspire you, to get you moving towards completing your goals? That's it. What are we going to do? If you come to me, I'm going to help you. I am definitely going to help you. I'm going to help you do your outline. I'm going to help you by motivating you. I'm going to help you by making sure that you are your authentic self and that you are not speaking the words of someone else, because we do that too. So many people have influenced our thoughts till sometimes I'm not even sure if we actually know what is our thought and what has been influenced by someone else. I know what mine are because I'm just that bold. But you need to know what are your natural thoughts. How do you really feel about dogs and cats? How do you really feel about washing dishes as opposed to putting them in the dishwasher? How do you feel about making your bed? We've always made our bed because mommy told us to, or grandma told us to, or somebody told us to. But how do you really feel about making your bed? Is it something that you were conformed to do? Or is it something that you really like to do? It's completely up to you. Those are your thoughts. That's how you feel. That's your authentic self. And that's what we want to get in touch with. That's the thing that makes writing easy. Now, how long you write, for how long you write, and what I mean for how long you write is how long you want or how voluptuous you want your novel to be. You can write a novella, whatever. You can write really a short story, Harlequin type romance book. But it has to be you. Nobody else. It has to be you. And if this is your goal, what are you doing to get to your goal? We are in the, oh my gosh, we're coming up to the fourth quarter. Oh, September, October, November, December. We are coming up to the end of the third quarter in 2018. How much progress have you made towards your goals? How much have you written? How much more do you plan to write? Let's talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's do this. Okay? So again, take the time. And even though it is the third quarter, you can still have 2018 goals. 2018 goals. They don't have to be big. They just have to be yours. So, this is Michelle Mickey Jones, and I am a writer, a published author, a poet. And when you speak to me, when you get with me, when you communicate with me, we will talk about writing, we will talk about poetry, and we will talk about my community service. And we will talk about all of the things that are necessary and needed in order for you to be the authentic self-writer that you are. Have a great day.